Welcome to Courageous Conversation with Teresa W. Gamble, powered by Concierge Resource Professional Consultant.
Greetings and welcome, everybody. This is your host, Teresa W. Gamble, the hostess with the mostest, always bringing you the best content around the United States, not just in Florida. So today we have an amazing interview, amazing young lady that I met and adore. She is in New Orleans, Louisiana. Can't wait till she come to Florida where I'm at. Miss Kimberly Thomas, she go by Kimmie. She is the JD Queen, I call it. I just learned not too long ago. She is an attorney, a very intelligent one, and she's so actively involved in her community. But this particular episode, we're going to talk about what she does with this nonprofit. But before we do, we're going to dive in and get to know Kimmie a little bit more, who she is, her background, what her occupation, her government occupation, and then her community occupation. Her community occupation. She wears just as many hats as me, but I love it because we're trying to make an impact for so many people. But her heart and her mind is always for the young people, and that's what I love about her so much. So welcome, Kimmie, to Courageous Conversations.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Always, always, always. So I know who you are, but my listeners and my viewers don't. So let's let them learn about who Kimmie Thomas JD is.
All right. Well, Kimberly Kimmie Thomas, I am definitely, I would have to say I am a jack of many trades. And I think the only reason why is because the calling. When you actually wake up and you answer the calling of God and he's saying, come here, go there, all I say is, yes, sir. And that's what I do every single day. I am a lawyer by trade. I in that attorney legal space, I do political advocacy. A lot of times I will work with campaigns and things of that nature, but I really am more interested in the grassroots efforts that we have that are focused on educating voters, educating citizens, allowing them to understand not only the laws, but who actually, creates those laws. And then more importantly, where are your resources and funding? That has been one of those missions, as you go along in your work and in your studies and things like that, it starts becoming kind of clear. It's where are those resources? Because what we sometimes have a gap is in access. And so I like to tell people, well, how do you get to this particular resource? Because it's there and they put things in plain sight and they make sure it's hidden and buried in plain sight. And so I do have a mission to help not just my people, but a lot of people that are usually overlooked. And so it's important for me in that capacity. Other than that, I wear a couple of different hats. And I even put on some more hats since the last time I talked to you. I don't know how, Lord. I don't know how. Look, I was just saying, tomorrow I actually in that advocacy space, I am election commissioner, so I have to work the polls as far as the voting polls, making sure that our voice is heard. We don't have any suppression, making sure people are not turned around for any reason. And that's very important as far as fairness in those elections. And that's express our voice. But other than that, you definitely know me. I am president of IGL Foundation. I am president and CEO of Independent Gaming League. And I am president and CEO of Gameheads Productions. Under the IGL Foundation hat, that is a nonprofit. Under that hat, we teach education in esports and gaming. We make sure that it's really, really fun, because if I can connect anything to gaming, I can teach it to you. I could teach you law, I could teach you business, I could teach you anything dealing with entrepreneurship. And I love it because that gaming space is so pure and it's so rich to the point where it crosses all cultural boundaries. It makes sure that it exceeds any type of demographics, and people love fun, they love engagement. And through that, I can actually give you tailored messaging and information. So I actually love that piece. What we're doing currently, my biggest projects under IGL Foundation, we have started a gaming music program. We have been kind of splashing that all over the internet. We are taking students and hooking them up, especially students that aspire to be music artists. And we're allowing them to understand how that audio and that sound piece can be connected to gaming. But not only that, we have connected them to actual gamers. Our recent connection and partnership has been with the Pelicans, the New Orleans Pelicans. Wow. And we will be proceeding with the New Orleans Saints in the fall. So we have had students to actually come perform at tip-off. And in the background, I've been teaching them everything about music, that business side. How do you put that in the digital space, marketing, promoting your music talents and things of that nature. I told you anything that I could connect it to gaming, I could teach you.
Wow,
right?
That's amazing. I love that. I love that.
I love doing it. And so so underneath that IGL Foundation hat, we are doing that. We have partnered up with Heroes of New Orleans under that. Heroes of New Orleans is another nonprofit. And we are keeping that community engagement. They focus a little bit about the community as a whole and providing holistic resources to the community. So now that allows me to actually cross boundaries and hit more. I can hit now elderly people. It allows me to do a little bit more in that space. So I really like that. And then they have also Heroes Academy. So on that side and that partnership, IGL Foundation is providing workforce and professional development. And so we're excited that we're teaching that. It's a lot of information for them. I actually was just talking to you earlier. We hit those students that need those second and third chances. Those are your students that may have dropped out of school. And so we teach them not only in a hybrid virtual in-person space, but we also make sure that they have enough resources to help them with their present situation to kind of move them out. But also we like to supplement it with job experience, like internships, shadowing programs, and getting them ready for that workforce and beyond.
I love that. That's good.
Yeah, so excited. And then we've also partnered with a community college. Under that community college space, we will start, and this will be with junior colleges providing coursework, creating communities under those, doing more tournaments and events. So we're really excited about that portion as well. And we'll start as we grow in that space, that junior college space, we're planning on going around the country, trying to grow and I think sometimes people don't realize that connection between that high school and students that need to go into junior college. There's a pathway right there of opportunity to further help them advance if they just kind of hone in that. Not everybody is meant for a 4-year college.
You are exactly right. And I can totally agree with you, because when I was a private school, high school instructor, I introduced dual enrollment, and I had the traditional college of the 4 year, but there were some students that said, Miss Gamble, I'm not
Mhm.
4 year college material. So I partnered with the workforce education side of the same college for those students who were very good with their hands, good with,
Mhm.
mechanical things, very artistic, something that they don't have to try to go 4 years to get a degree. So you are very right, Kimmie, that you have to have a diverse of options for students, and do not ever assume every student you meet and teach is going to go to a 4 year college. It's not possible.
No, no. And then by having an opportunity to guide you from high school onto that community college, in that space, we can walk with you. So what does that mean? If you need a little extra guidance or someone to go on this journey with you, we are now providing that individual one-on-one support, which has been really, really good. And then we've partnered with um, the Black College Gaming Association.
Mm,
Uh, through that particular partnership, we are looking forward to getting mentors from Black colleges. So what does that look like? Well, now in having those students, you can now sit with another student that's at another point in their career and get that guidance that's still not too far removed from them. So
yeah.
that way you could have that one-on-one interaction with them. And then that's perfect networking because they're all over the country as well.
That's true. I like that. I see, ladies and gentlemen, I told you she wear many hats. Then I tell you, I gave y'all a warning before. But what she does is so impactful because she's speaking and she's teaching and she's helping and navigating the next generation to get them ready, especially our children of color and our poor white children, because they need that boost. They need that confidence that they can be productive in society. And individuals like Kimmie, even though she could be doing other things else with her advocacy, but she makes time to make sure she is available for the youth in her community, and she's spreading it abroad. So with Kimmie, with that being said, you mentioned a little earlier you work with a lot of homeless kids. So how
Yes.
does what you do in IGL Foundation helps homeless children to possibly give a blueprint to a lot of the Ukrainians that's coming to the US, and a lot of children that has become orphans because their parents died from COVID? How can IGL, what have you all done to help those children to be a blueprint or a guidelines for other entities and individuals who wants to do the same?
Well, what these students need are wraparound services.
Okay.
And that's really it's kind of tailoring to more than one need. So I'll give you an example. You have to understand fully the cause and effect of certain things. I'll give you a situation. So if a student is homeless and they're looking for stability, or if they're looking for food, or if I have a couple of students, their kids are in the system and they're trying to get them out. You have to give them those extra resources, because if that is what is pressing on them, they are not going to think about the educational requirements that are used to excel, right?
Right.
So what you have to do is you have to pool resources. What does that mean? You have to kind of do a 360 view of who do you have access to? I'm fortunate to have access to a lot of people out of advocacy and out of just being in that legal network. And so that means everyone that is within my circle and in my range, they have access. And we also take it upon us to call up and do other partnerships. We can't do everything. And
Right.
being that we can't do everything, we don't try to. So we work with.
Wait, Kim, I'm gonna have to stop you. I need you to repeat that last phrase again, because we got some organizations and some people feel like They can do
Oh,
everything.
no.
I need you to say that again.
No, we can't do everything. And so with that being said, we don't try to do everything. We partner. That's about creating effective partnerships, making sure that you're meeting with them. And that helps if you're thinking about, even when you're targeting certain opportunities, money, and things of that nature, partnership is actually the answer. You don't need to put everything under your umbrella, under your mission. You make your scope and your mission and you target it. And then you go ahead and you put MOUs together for other organizations in order to branch off and increase that scope and increase that mission, right? And so that's what we do. We've partnered with social services groups. We've partnered with food pantries. We partnered with local shelters. We started partnering with agencies that will be providing clothing and shoes. So it's about what does a student need? What do you need? And start there. Figure out what do you need that makes you feel stable, right? So if everything that you need, if you think about shelter, right? If a kid is going from home to home and there's an issue, okay, they don't have stability. So if they don't have stability, that's not going to give them a need to go ahead and study and do anything. Right. So you have to try to eliminate the issues. Now we also IGL specifically, we work with kids under the spectrum. A lot of our kids that are on the spectrum are mostly your Caucasian students. I'm not sure why it just has kind of funneled that way, but in that being said, we have to take time to actually not only explore their talents and their gifts, because it's superpowers. And if you look at it like superpowers, you have to take that time to see what they're capable of doing. Once you unwrap that package of that superpower, you literally have like a beast that's sitting there and it's just a genius. You know what I'm saying? And you have to figure out how to work that miracle that they have, that's that gift, and apply it to something that they can make money. And when I tell you that marriage of making money and that gift, I don't know, it's seamless.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So when you say spectrum, you talking about your artistic children.
Yes, correct.
That way, so our listeners can understand who are not familiar with that terminology. But I notice a lot of times we as African American or Black and brown families, we do not like to divulge or reach out for help with our children as special needs and on the spectrum because of probably past mistreatments and stuff. How do you gain your parents and guardians trust for them to work with you with what you do at the IGL Foundation?
I think the easiest thing that I do specifically is let them play too. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If you get to be a part of the play, then it makes it so much easier. It's kind of we are starting to delve a little bit more in our Spanish speaking communities, because now we have someone that is Spanish speaking that can actually interpret. That has been a total gap in our services that we want to target, because and a lot of people do not understand this. The kids will understand English, right? And they want to participate. But when we're promoting and advertising, it's missing the mark because it's going to the parents. And if the parents do not understand and it's not in their language, they can't get the kids out where they need to be. So that has been become a point for us. It's like we have to strengthen, you know what I'm saying, and understand that that's important. And so the funny thing is, gaming is universal, and especially when you have to think about what types of games you're offering. In Spanish speaking communities, sometimes it's a little bit different. Like for instance, when it comes to esports, the universal game that they have is FIFA when it comes to just the gaming portions. So you have to offer that. And then you have to think of what are the other games that they're playing that, translate well. And so you really have to be intentional about inclusion.
That's
Every
good.
single day. You have to be intentional about inclusion.
Right.
And that's what works. That's what gets us, people working with us, people excited. And that's what gets parents excited. It's just like, oh, you want our kids? Okay. And you want to play with us too? Okay. And most parents are kind of like, we'll see. And then they're having fun. And they're like, well, I didn't expect to come out here and have fun. So
that's good. Exactly. Sometimes bring back some of their childhood days and they get to experience that play with their kids and how they grew up. I love that. So I've been looking at your LinkedIn and you've been having some amazing posts. Tell me about this Be Loud Kid Run radio show. What is he is so cute on the picture. Tell me about that.
You know what? I have not checked out, I haven't had an opportunity to check out his radio show, but I have been seeing it. And I want to see what the content is about. I think that's so excited to have a child that is actually able to, speak in their language. And I'm like, that is so dope. And hopefully, so right now we're going under some renovations. We're located in the Hero Center in New Orleans. And within our facility, we have a gaming room. And now we are opening up, well, we are actually hosting the renovations dealing with our music gaming area. So that will have a studio, a soundboard. It'll have the podcast portion.
Okay.
And so we're really excited about it. But what does that do? That brings skills and opportunities to students. And I will tell you, one of the things that I feel like are missing in regular educational facilities is the ability to debate and the ability to write.
That's
so
good.
When you're talking about speech writing and actual debate, and we'll start, so within our facility, we're also going to be doing mock trials. That gives people the opportunity to start learning a little law, learning a little information, so that way they can apply it and speak on it. So yeah, I'm excited about it.
That is amazing. You doing some amazing things. I can't wait until we branch and get you in the Florida arena, because we're working on some things as well. Because I'm working with the community colleges too, and we're trying to make sure this next generation, have that access that you talk about, and then bridging that gap with the Hispanic, our brown community sisters and brothers. So I see this talent show up here. This talent show you did.
Yes.
How did that turn out?
You know what? It turned out phenomenal, and everyone is asking us, when is the next one? I haven't even posted the videos from it. Do you know that? Do you know how busy I've been? I have not posted the videos. I said, I am saving it for Saturday when I am working the polls and when people have the gaps. I'm going to hit everybody with these videos. Man, when I tell you, let me start by saying the parents enjoyed it the most.
Wow.
The parents enjoyed it the most. They don't have enough things for kids to do.
Right.
The kids were able to sing, dance, kind of have fun, express themselves. And we had one artist to do a song dealing with battling depression. Do you hear me? The student, and he's a senior in high school. And after his message, he said, if you're dealing with depression, you can come talk to me. If you're feeling alone in this world, you can come and talk to me about whatever it is, but you're not alone in this world. So you have kids helping kids.
Wow.
Right?
That is amazing.
So think about the bonds and the connectivity, and people don't put as much emphasis on networking. Networking allows you to not be alone in anything. What you
Right.
have done, even with social media and reaching out to us and getting to know us and things like that, that is networking. But that is actually a skill that's not really taught as much. And if we can teach that at a younger age, let me network or what have you. That was one of the biggest things that I kept reiterating. Like, for instance, after every act, what's his name? Where do you follow him at? And guess what? They went ahead and they followed and they shared and they posted and they were excited about it. So it was phenomenal, to say the least. Everybody is ready for the next one. I have to plan it. I just have to make sure I'm planning it around election time, so it's not on the same date. But it was absolutely great. It has gotten noticed by a couple of different gaming brands. They were kind of like, what are y'all doing? We want it.
That's
Whatever
good.
it is, we want it.
That
So
is amazing. Mixing talent shows with game. That
yeah,
I told you, ladies and gentlemen, she is very creative. And because me and my husband, we bought gaming toys. My husband was very competitive. Let me start with him, because the seed started with him, and then our children got interested. And he loves games and competitive and playing. And then he spread that enthusiasm to our sons, and they used to love to play. They love the music when they play.
yes.
He's a musician too. So all those skill sets matter. And like one of my other guests said, if your child wants to get in a creative space, don't muzzle them, don't hinder them, let them explore. And Kimmie has an amazing business model where she does that with this foundation. But before we sign off, is someone I want you to talk about who started this whole vision
Yes.
of the foundation, because this wasn't your baby.
No, it was not.
So
This
let's talk about this amazing visionary of the IGL Foundation.
man, this vision was started by my brother Derek Thomas. My brother, he was the actual founder, the person that got me into it, the person that said, no, this is what we're doing. He actually, and this is a little personal, but he actually told me, I need you to stop dating and focus on what we have going on here. He said this to me in 2016. And you know what? As his sister, I did it. I did it.
Wow.
Honestly, I was at that point in time, and I did it, I think it was like 3-4 years. I was just like, this is what I have to focus. I have to strip everything away and really focus on that. He was so passionate about it. I watched him in play. I worked lock and step with him from the inception of business ideas, writing it down, to packing it up at night. And I watched him tirelessly give himself to it. While he was doing that, he also worked for the Covenant House. He was a supervisor over their lawn program, which a lot of the homeless students would sign up to be a part of his program to make the extra money that they make on contracts. And so he was right with all the students that were homeless. So everything kind of goes, full circle or what have you. And we just, between community advocacy and really fighting for kids, that was our passion. In 2019, right before one of his largest meetings, he passed away. He had a seizure in his sleep. He actually had epilepsy, and that was how he went on to be with the Lord. And he passed away at 1 a.m. By 10 a.m., I was packing up and going to Baton Rouge to finish his meeting and his deal that he had for 12, because that was what the dedication looked like with us. Whatever you don't finish, I've got you, brother. I've got you, and I got you for life and beyond. So that
That
was
is so
Derek Thomas.
beautiful. That's so beautiful. So we thank the late Mr. Derek Thomas for his vision and giving you the strength. What tickled me is that he asked you to stop dating. That's the part
He
that
did.
tickled me. But it was profound what he said. He needed you to focus on the vision he was building, because with that statement alone, it sounded like he would not live long enough to see it fully come to fruition. And
Yep.
he wanted to make sure you were focused for him to download everything necessary that you would need.
Yep.
And it just sounds so prophetic. And for you to say you had to strip off some things of your personal perspective to take on this mantle. Let's speak to that to entrepreneurs and those people with vision, and they're juggling so many hats and they in so many things, of what they need to give up to truly make that vision and that dream become a reality.
I think the biggest thing is sacrifice. And the first thing that you have to do is sacrifice and become really disciplined. Discipline looks like, despite adversity, you're still waking up with that same passion and purpose. And I'll start by saying this: with whatever you're trying to do, write it out and make it plain. And then once you wrote it out, give it to God. And once you pass that mark, revise what you wrote. And every single quarter, revise it again. And at the top of the year, revise it again, because you will start to see it change. But discipline, I can tell you, the discipline with making sure that your mission and your actions are aligning. You find yourself, like, for instance, my brother had just passed away. Discipline let me know that I have to still go to that meeting. That's what we do. We take care of business. There was an excuse. There wasn't an excuse at all that I could give. That's discipline. Sacrifice means sometimes your dream will not keep you in a comfortable space. And guess what? If it's true purpose and it's something that's given by God, it's just out of reach. It's just out of comfortable reach. So you have to stretch and you have to grow to actually touch it and get it. So those are the two things that I'll definitely say when it comes to that portion. The other thing is, your dream and your purpose is your own. Never totally covet what somebody else wanted, or wanted for themselves. And the reason why I say that is, you'll find yourself in a dark space. You'll find yourself saying, well, why didn't that person have it? Like I always tell people, never want truly what I have, because think of what I had to do to get it. My brother is gone, right? You don't want that. Your sacrifice is your own. You know what I'm saying? What you go through is your own. That's individual. So you never covet what somebody else has, but you still have to download what your purpose is every day, every single day. And you have to be committed. You have to be committed in the cold. You have to be committed when you're in debt. You have to be committed when somebody says no, and when they say no again, and when they say no again, and when they say no again, and when they say no again. You have to be committed and have that type of drive, because it's that drive that is going to touch those wins that you have, especially if your purpose is aligned with God. Those wins that you have, they're going to look different than money, right? They're going to look at like you've changed a life. And that's what the goal is. So
wow, that is so profound. I'm glad you spoke to covenant, because you have a lot of people, they see your end result, but when they know, if they had a clue what you go through with behind the scenes, and the shoes you had to walk in, and the hardships you had to fight through, they'll change their mind. That was so Powerful. That was so powerful. And I love the way you spoke that, because it's important, because a lot of women have resigned. A lot of people are not going back to corporate America, to the workforce. They're birthing out their own vision, and they think it's real easy. And I'm first to say, and I'm quite sure Kim gonna give me an amen, entrepreneurship is not for the weak.
Oh, no.
It is not for the weak. You like she talked about those no's. Let me add some more. Some slam doors,
Ooh,
some not return emails,
yes.
some hang up phone calls. You know, some people that, you know, take your idea and run with it because they have the capital to do so.
Yeah.
I mean, it's things that you go through as hurdles, and each disappointment I have found, Kim, I asked the Lord, okay, what lesson am I supposed to learn from this? And how can I do it better the next time? So I thank you so much for that nugget and everything that you're doing in New Orleans. Those children, those families, they are so grateful to have you executing the vision of your brother. I know he is happy and
Yes.
shouting and playing his game up there in heaven.
Yes.
Saying, cheering you on. And I'm glad you have an amazing team to help you with it.
Yes.
And ladies and gentlemen, I hope you took some nuggets today. Kim gave you some amazing things, what you can do. You cannot do it alone. You have to partner. And you don't have to partner in your state, because sometimes within your own territory, you're not welcome. But
Yes.
you are a blessing somewhere else. So with Kim, before we sign off this amazing interview, because you know, me and you can keep talking forever.
Yes, child.
What would you like to say to the women, since we are celebrating International Women's Month on Courageous Conversations, and I dedicated this month to inspire women and who they are and what they do, on how to prepare for this rigid political climate that's already polarized, but it's getting even worse? What would be some best practices you would give them to get ready for whatever they're trying to pursue?
In whatever you're trying to pursue, I would say embrace you. The first thing is embrace you, embrace your beauty, embrace what is beautiful about you and your gift. That's what I'm talking about when I say embrace your beauty. On the inside, there are certain gifts that you have. We as women, we have a strength like none other, right?
Yes.
And so you really have to dig down into it and tap into it. And once you start tapping into what that looks like, the other thing that I would say is reach out to another young woman and hold them, because sometimes it's going to take you stretching out your arm to the next person as well. They may be in front of you, they may be inside of you, they may be even in back of you. Reach out your arm, right? The other thing that I would tell any type of woman, no matter if you choose corporate America or entrepreneurship, man, make sure every engagement, everything that you do is with purpose. I'll give you an example. When I went to jobs, I used to have journals, and I promise you, my journals used to look psycho because I used to write down the resume of everyone that was a CEO, right? And I would also figure out what are some of the clubs that they were associated with and things like that. And I literally did that for every single job, because I knew if that got them there, I need to build my experience. So before you may be ready to get out on your own, build your experience and then learn from others what that experience looks like. Not everybody jumps out the womb and says, hey, I'm a boss, right? Sometimes we have to develop, we have to actually have different experiences. So I would say when you're in your 20s, use your 20s to start getting your education up and getting that experience up. When you're in your 30s, definitely try to look for those types of experiences and exposures that start molding and changing the world for you. You know, the world only looks a certain way in your from your eyesight. So you need to do that. When you get to your 40s, It's that real, let me give back. It begins to be, let me give back. Let me show you, young lady, let me get you over here, right? Even if you're still building, let me bring you over here. So I would have to say, man, just really journal your life, journal your projects, journal where you're trying to go. Keep journaling, write it down, make it plain. I think there's nothing like the Bible when if it says it, I think you should definitely use, and I'm not saying everything is right, because I know there's not that type of show, but I'm just saying.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
That's one of the things that I live by, is just truly writing it down and making it plain. That way your mind knows that your heart says it's going that direction.
I love it. I love it. No, people that know me, they know I'm a preacher's kid. Okay. Everything that I do, it's all about faith. It's all about walking in faith. It's all about trusting and believing. My faith may be different than Kim's faith, but guess what? It aligns, because in order for you to execute, for it to become a reality, it first had to start where? On a piece of paper. You had to write it out. Or it came to you in a dream. Yes. You had to write it out. And then once you write it out, then just like she said, vet those relationships, put the pieces together, get those expertises necessary. That's why I push education so hard, because our ecosystem is constantly changing. So Kim, that is so beautiful. I love it. I love it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you have heard from Miss Kimberly Kimmie Thomas, JD, all the way from New Orleans, Louisiana. And as you know, she is the founder of the IGL Foundation and so much, much more. So make sure you follow and connect with her. So Kim, how can they connect with you or get in touch with your next events, or even watch them virtually if they're not in your area?
All right. So if you are connecting with me on social media, I am at Kimmie Talk, KIMMIETALK on on Instagram. On Twitter, we are IGL GG on Twitter. We are IGL Foundation on Instagram. Most places it's IGL Foundation. You could kind of find us on LinkedIn and things like that. Anything social with me personally is going to say Kimmie Talk on there. Outside of that, our website is iglfoundation.org. Our Independent Gaming League website, which is still kind of being built and does the official launch on Sunday, is iglx.gg.
Awesome. That is so great. So ladies and gentlemen, I encourage you to stay connected. Eventually me and Kimmie is working on something to bring her amazing gaming tournament to Florida. I hope to be soon, once these COVID streets kind of clear up a little bit more, so we can have a day of play. Thank you so much for your time, Kimmie Thomas. Keep doing what you do, and kudos and a shout out to your amazing visionary brother, the late Derek Thomas.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you for listening to Courageous Conversation with Teresa W. Gamble, bridging generational gaps through active listening and action-oriented changes.